Hey, what's up? I'm Kim, and welcome back to the Keyneck channel. Today, we're talking about 11 cents. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kim, 11 cents? That's not even worth bending down to pick up off the floor at the truck stop. And that's exactly the point. Because that 11 cents is the difference between what shippers are paying on contract lanes versus what they're paying on the spot market right now. And when that number gets this small, it changes the math on everything: your routing, your contract terms, your negotiating power, your bottom line. So buckle up. This one's got some numbers in it, but I promise to make it worth your time. All right, quick level set for anyone who's newer to the channel. When we talk about the gap, we mean the difference between contract rates and spot rates. Contract rate, that's the locked-in price a shipper agreed to pay you, usually set during a bid cycle once or twice a year. Right now, national average dry van contract is sitting at about $2.52 a mile. Spot rate, that's what's live on the load board today. Negotiated right now, no commitments. National average on dry van spot is $2.41 a mile. Subtract one from the other and you get 11 cents. That's the gap. Historically, contract pays more than spot because the shipper gets reliability and you take on some commitment. That premium used to be 40, 50 cents a mile in busier times. Right now, it's a dime and a penny. That is a skinny margin and it matters more than most drivers realize. Here's the part that should get your attention. This did not happen overnight. Let's walk the tape back. April of 2025, the gap between contract and spot was 44 cents a mile. That's a solid premium for running contract. You give up some flexibility, you get paid for the commitment. By July, still at 39 cents, healthy. October, 35 cents, starting to compress. December, 17 cents. Now we're talking, something is clearly moving. January 2026, 16 cents. February 2026, 11 cents. That is a 75% compression in 10 months. And here's the key thing to understand before we get into why it happened. Spot rates went up. Contract did not collapse. Spot chased contract from below, and now they're almost the same price. That means there's real pricing power in this market right now, and if you're positioned correctly, it's actually a good thing. But it also means the old contract equals safe logic needs a serious reevaluation. So what caused this? 4 things, and they all matter. Number 1, small carriers exited the market. The past couple of years were brutal on thin margin operators. A lot of small carriers and owner-ops who couldn't survive on low spot rates parked their trucks or sold out. Fewer trucks in the market means more pricing power for those who stayed. That's you if you're still out here. Number 2, contract is slow, spot is fast. Contract rates reset on bid cycles, once or twice a year. Spot reprices every single day. When capacity started tightening, spot reacted within days. Contract is still playing catch-up. Number 3, weather disruptions hit productivity. Winter storms in early 2026 pulled a lot of trucks off the road. Load-to-truck ratio spiked, shippers got nervous about coverage, and spot rates jumped hard in a short window. Number 4, and this is the one that surprises people, this is not a freight boom. Government transportation data shows freight volumes were basically flat all of 2025. Rates didn't go up because everyone suddenly needed more stuff shipped. They went up because there are fewer trucks available to move the same amount of freight. Why does this distinction matter? Because a capacity-driven rate increase can reverse faster than a demand-driven one. Keep that in the back of your mind. All right, here's where we get into the numbers that actually run your business. There's a formula every owner-op should have tattooed somewhere they can see it daily. It goes like this. Break-even loaded rate equals your cost per mile divided by 1 minus your deadhead percentage. Let me show you what that looks like in the real world. Industry average cost to operate a truck, according to ATRI, the Trucking Research Institute, was $2.26 per mile in 2024. That includes everything: fuel, insurance, maintenance, truck payment, the whole ticket. Now apply some deadhead numbers. At 10% deadhead, meaning 1 out of every 10 miles you drive is empty, your break-even loaded rate is about $2.51. That barely clears the current contract average of $2.52. You're alive, but not by much. At 15% deadhead, which is honestly pretty common for spot chasers, your break-even jumps to $2.66. Now you're underwater on both spot and contract at national averages. You're working hard and going backwards. At 20% deadhead, $2.83 to break even. That's a lost business at current rates, full stop. This is why Deadhead is not just a routing inconvenience. In a compressed spread market, it's the difference between a profitable month and a month that quietly drains your bank account while your loaded rate looks just fine on paper. So what do you actually do with all of this? 3 plays. These are not motivational posters. These are operational moves that change your numbers. Play 1. Control your deadhead. Build a lane shortlist, lanes where you know your backhaul situation before you commit to the front haul. If you're chasing loads all over the map and eating 15 to 20% empty miles, no rate environment bails you out right now. Structural deadhead control is worth more than an extra penny on the loaded rate. Play 2. Bill every single accessorial. Detention, layover, stop pay. Every one of these should be in writing with your brokers and shippers. Clock start rules, billing windows, all of it. I cannot tell you how much money owner-ops donate to shippers' warehouses every year just by not billing detention. One load where you sit for 3 hours and actually collect what you're owed can be the difference between a good week and a flat one. Play 3. Renegotiate now, not after the next bid cycle. When spot is almost equal to contract, shippers don't have the leverage they usually do. The "you get guaranteed volume" argument is weaker when spot is right there anyway. Use mini bid windows. Push for fuel surcharge mechanisms in writing. Get detention terms on paper. This is your window, and windows don't stay open. Let me make this real with one scenario. Same truck, same month, same market. 3 different strategies. Contract heavy operator, 80% contract, 20% spot, 10% deadhead. Revenue comes in around $24,000. Operating costs at $226 per total mile, $23,856. Profit, $160. That's it. Technically positive, but there's no room for a bad week, a repair bill, or a slow load. Mixed operator, 50-50 contract and spot, 12% deadhead. Revenue's similar, $24,229, but now total miles are up because of that extra deadhead, and costs climb to $25,041. That's negative $812. This operator is losing money while running a full schedule and feeling busy. Spot heavy operator, 80% spot, 15% deadhead. Revenue, $24,420. Costs, $26,589. Negative $2,169. Every single mile is costing more than it's bringing in. The rates look similar across all 3 scenarios. The outcomes are completely different, and the gap is made up of deadhead, not rate. This is what 11 cents does. It removes all the margin for error from your routing decisions. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Here's what you know now that most drivers scrolling load boards this week don't know. The contract spot gap is at 11 cents. That's not a temporary blip. It's been compressing for 10 straight months. Spot caught contract because capacity tightened, not because freight volumes boomed. That matters because it can reverse. Your break-even loaded rate is probably higher than you think once you factor in real deadhead. Run that number this week if you haven't recently. And if you're heading into a contract conversation, whether it's a renewal, a mini bid, or a new shipper relationship, this is the best negotiating environment you've had in a while. Use it. Push for terms, not just rate. Fuel mechanisms, detention in writing, accessorial clarity. The drivers who build those operational habits right now are going to be in a much better position when the market shifts again. And it will shift. It always does. If this was useful, hit that subscribe button. We put out no-nonsense freight market content every week. No hype, just the numbers and what they mean for your business. I'm Kim. See you on the next one.